Okay, introducing on the show now. We've got a couple of guys from a band called Ferocious Dog. Welcome to my show. How we doing?
How are we doing?
Hi,
All right?
hello.
Are you?
Great to hear from you. Thanks for taking time out just to talk about yourselves and promote your upcoming tour and single. Would you just like to introduce yourselves onto my show?
Hi, so I'm Jamie Burney. I'm the violin player with Ferocious Dog.
Cam Monsell, lead vocals, and I'm still trying to learn guitar.
Great.
And
Well, nice to.
Kyle Peters,
Yep, he's in the background.
he's an electric guitarist. Yeah.
Hello there. Well, welcome, guys. Ferocious Dog. That's
Hi.
an ace name for a band. How did you come up with that name?
It was a joke to start with years and years ago, about getting on for 20 years ago. Um, and I just joked with my son, he could just started talking, and I think it was the first time we'd ever played in front of a crowd, really. I think it was one at the Pink Flamingo pub that's on, in Mansfield, and I think cancer research thing. And somebody asked us and the local newspaper just wanted a name, and really it was just me and my son. My son were only small, playing violin, playing stuff like pogues and levellers and traditional Irish music, and he says, "Oh, what's the name of your band to write down for the local newspaper?" I said, "We ain't got a name. It's just me and my son." I said, "Well, can you try and make a name up so I can write it down?" And I rolled in my youngest, and I used to joke that I used to growl at him and say, "What's this?" He goes, "Arr." And he go, "Oh, a Rottweiler, Daddy." I said, "Very good, very good. What's this?" I'd do the exact same growl. I'd say, "What's this one?" And he'd go, "Oh, a ferocious dog, Daddy." So, very good, very good. And just to hear him say that, and people say, "Oh, do it again, do it again." Just to hear him say "ferocious dog" at such a young age. And so that stuck. I looked down at him, and he nodded, and I went, "Ah, ferocious dog," just as a joke, and it stuck. And that's
Cool.
all them years ago. So it's down to my son.
So they say you come up with the name, the rest is history.
Yes, we are going to change it years after, but it just stuck, and it's just such a great name for an aggressive folk punk band.
Sure. And if I'm correct, you're based from the East Midlands, like say Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire area. Has that place always held
Yeah,
a place in your heart?
yeah, definitely does. Don't it? We're all from around this area. You're not Jamie, though, are you?
I'm from Newcastle originally, but
Right.
I've been in Sheffield for years, so kind of they've almost accepted me.
So
Almost.
we all live, within 20 mile of each other. So we've got two who live in Nottingham, one who lives at Kirkby, other side of Mansfield. James lives at Sheffield. We live near Retford, and I live in Warsop near Mansfield.
That's
So yeah,
handy, isn't
East
it?
Midlands band.
That's handy to have a catchment area where for rehearsals where you can all be in a central hub to do your rehearsals, isn't it?
Yeah, within half an hour we're all together. So, and
Ah,
that's where we are today, rehearsal rooms. We're just going to rehearse now. Got 2 more days before we head out onto tour. So we're just going to put some finishing touches to guest list and set list.
cool. Wanted to ask, you mentioned the Pogues. Have Irish music always been a big influence in your music?
Yeah, I grew up on Irish music from my dad. He loved listening to Dubliners and drinking Guinness and stuff like that. So I didn't really like it as I was growing up as a teenager or even younger. 'Cause I was a breakdancer back in the 80s, and folk music weren't really my thing until I saw the Pogues playing on top of Pops with me dad's band, the Dubliners. I'm like, Irish Rover. I'm like, what? That's my dad's band, but Shane McGann's a punk rocker. So and I thought, yeah, well,
Mm.
and I knew all these songs word for word. I'd grown up with them from being a small child. I know all these classic Irish folk songs. All I had to do was learn how to play guitar, and I'm still learning to play guitar as we speak.
Were you saddened to hear the news of his passing last year, Shane?
Yeah, yeah, and like on this album, there's like a nod to um, Shane McGowan and Kirsty McCall, who are both uh, died, and it's a place we call home, and we've got my old vocal coach, Lizzie Ross, and she does backing for us as well when we play big shows. from Huddersfield. She's an amazing singer, vocalist. And so we got her to do similar to like Fairy Tale in New York kind of thing, but Ferocious Dog's version of that kind of song, but mainly as a nod to like Shane MacGowan dying. So, you know, as such an hero and the inventor really of folk punk. He was the first, you know, to be doing it.
I was going to mention as well your song "A Place We Call Home." Heard it on the streaming platforms. I love the flute on it as well. That's a good little effect to it. Has this, as you say, has a traditional Irish feel to it.
Yeah, and that's down to Ferocious Dog. You know, that don't have anything to do with that. I wrote the lyrics, but to come up with the music for it, you know, like Jamie here on violin and Sam, the multi-instrumentalist, and just to make it work, I'll leave when we're in the studio. I'll leave all that like to Sam and to the rest of them. I just turn up and try and sing best I can.
That seems to go down well at the moment. Just heard a song from Nathan Evans. It was called "Heather on the Hill." Reminds me of that a little bit in places.
I'll have to look out for that one. I'm always up for good music.
And your music appeals to all ages and tastes. I noticed a song you did called "Psychedelic Spin." That's an interesting track.
Yeah, I think that's our most searched one. But Dr. Peacock, he saw us when we played Lowland Festival in Netherlands a few years back now, and he was blown away at Mosh Pit. We headlined the alternative stage on the last day, and I think he was just blown away with the atmosphere of what Ferocious Dog bring to a live crowd, and it was an amazing show, and everybody just went mad at this massive festival. And he never heard us, and he came round and wanted to talk to us about doing a collaboration because he was a DJ, and I thought that'll never work. But he's absolutely massive in Frenchcore. He's one of the biggest in the world at Frenchcore. This style of hip hop kind of music, dance music. So he just did a collaboration on Psychedelic Spin, and it went huge. So thank you for Dr. Peacock.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one to dwell on numbers, but 5 million Spotify plays,
Yeah,
goes out
yeah,
saying, doesn't it?
yeah. Well, that just shows you, Dr. Spin. We went over. He headlined a massive Ibris festival kind of thing. DJs on all day, all these 1830, all these young kids, raving all day, and he was main show, and we went over and performed Psychedelic Spin with him and flew over while we were still on tour. I think we just finished playing Oxford, and then we had to drive straight down to Stansted, fly out there, no sleep, wait till 4 o'clock in the morning to headline this show with Dr. Peacock, and then come back next day and then carry on touring. It was just great memories, to see all these thousands of these raving kids all dancing away to a bit of Ferocious Dog and Dr. Peacock rave.
Sounds fun. It has an element of chase and status in there, would you say?
I'd say so, yeah. But he's very clever, Dr. Peacock, and he saw something straight away in what he likes to do is take different genres of music and put it into his style. So he might take opera, or he might take this, or he might take different styles. And he's a genius at doing that and selling other styles of music, into Frenchcore.
Another track caught my attention was called Slow Motion. Was that a track which which brings you back to basics, trying to capture that classic indie feel, Britpop?
Well, Slow Motion Suicide, that's like an anthem for Ferocious Dog. So we can't, I think we'd be lynched if we dropped that one off the set list. It's unheard of. It's not all over until Ferocious Dog play Slow Motion.
And embarking on a UK tour, has this been a long time coming with preparation and everything?
Well, we wrote the album about this time last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's kind of been in the offing with a few ups and downs. So it's.
I wouldn't say so. I think it's been like a whirlwind. It's all going back so fast. We've not really had time from recording the album, producing the album and everything, and getting all the artwork out. It's like we didn't really have long in that. rehearsals, and now we're just about to go on tour, and you think, where's that time gone? It's been like 2 minutes ago we were recording this album. But it's just because we've been so busy, and we've not played for 5 months. So it's like we've took a step back from playing live, mainly for the tour. So, it's like, so we usually, Ferocious Dog will play constantly, always playing up and down. Some have said, oh, this working band because we never stopped. But it was nice to take 5 months off, to give people and the time. So when we come back with the Kleptocracy album, people will be ready to go again and hear all these new songs from Ferocious Dog.
And what I admire about you as well, you treat your fans as family.
Yeah, when you've been doing it as long as Ferocious Dog, and I think it's what we bring, and our politics, what we bring. It's about all looking after each other. We, like people will say, have you got a message for your fans? And I've had this on loads of interviews up and down the years, and I'll say, yeah, we don't have fans. The family. I look at front there, and you know them. You know them, and you talk to them through week. Anybody can contact me on social media, and I try and answer everybody as I can. It's not as if, Ken gets up on that stage and is a rock star. I'll never make a rock star. I had 30 years in a coal mine. I'll never make a rock star. So that's what you bring to the table. It's like doing food drops on this tour. Everyone again will have a food drop to help them cities where we're playing and them towns where we're playing. For chances for people to help each other and help out if they can afford it, and just bring some food to the show to help a local food bank. And it's not a PR thing. It's not like, oh, that should be good for to get noticed. I've done it since 2016. It's something I'm passionate about. Helping people on streets and helping food banks and shelters and things like that, because it was something I got into when my son died. So you just carry it on. You can't turn your back on it.
Charitable deed there. Well done. You mentioned kleptocracy. If I can pronounce it right. What's that briefly about?
Well, kleptocracy is, so we think we live in a democracy, but kleptocracy is where the rulers steal the money, wealth from the country, which is what we've got now. So like you saw with COVID, how they were just cutting swathes of taxpayers' money and giving it to the friends and making companies up and making jobs up, but really they're just robbing the country and putting it into offshore bank accounts, millions and billions. So I just wanted to straighten it up and tell people what's actually going on with this current government, and they're getting away with it and nobody's saying anything because they just go, well, what can you do? But they've gone that far that somebody needs to say, oh, stop, where's your anger? Because nobody's saying anything, that this government, the richest prime minister we've ever had, that really don't care about people living in East Midlands or anywhere else, working class, then they're not in the same, they don't see eye to eye with us. It's all about money.
And my next question, I think this is my final question. How would you like the legacy of your band, Ferocious Dog, to be remembered in years to come?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. Can you repeat that, sorry?
Yeah, sure. So my final question, how would you like the legacy of your band, Ferocious Dog, to be remembered in years or decades to come?
I think that's one for you, Ken.
Just as the drummer starts drumming. Well, I think the legacy will be about, like the politics that we've sung about, and the way that we are, like, as a band, the way that we interact with the family of Elams. It's not just all about us. It's about people being able to come to Ferocious Dog shows, being on their own and never alone. They're part of a big family, and that's one thing I like to see on social media, where probably a woman in her 60s or 70s would say, oh, I'd love to come to a show, but I can't, I'm on my own. And straight away people say, you're never on your own, we'll make sure where you're stopping, where you're coming from, we'll make sure you get back on your bus or your train or to your hotel. And people look out for each other. I think, and that's the part of what Ferocious Dog does. It's just one, okay, we've got the music side, But it's when you see people all meeting up together, it's like one big happy family, people gathering, reunion. And I think Ferocious Dog playing is just an excuse for them all to get together and have a good time, and then they go away again, and then a week later we're playing somewhere else.
A day later.
A day later.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back together, and it's great to see all these people from all over the country or even all over Europe, doing that.
And finally, I've got to ask you, would you like to share your website address or show social media links where people can check where you're playing at and maybe potentially buy tickets to see you?
Is it?
It changed.
It changed.
If you Google ferociousdog.co.uk, it should come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on all social
precise,
media
I can.
platforms.
I think it's got a dash in it now, hasn't it?
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much,
Did we get
chaps.
Nick to send you the link for it?
Say again, sorry.
Did we get Nick to send you the link? Nick set up.
Yeah,
this
sure.
meeting.
Yeah, what we'll do, we'll share that
Okay, and
with
then you
this
can put it on.
interview when it goes out. All right, and then people
But honestly,
can.
if you search Ferocious Dog, you'll find us.
Yeah, the power of Google.
All right.
Brilliant, chaps.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for joining me today. It's been really interesting and,
Well,
and
thank you very much.
Good.
interesting talking with you. Good luck with your tour. All right, yeah. Take care, chaps.
Thanks.
Best.
Nice one, Danny.
Take care.
Best
You
wishes.
take
All right.
care.
Take care.